Good morning, my friends. Happy Sunday. It's great to be back. I hope you all had a great couple of weeks. In the chat, we've got Artavelli, we've got Phil C, and we have Spiper. Good morning to all of you. I hope you're all having a great weekend. We've missed 2 weeks actually of Cocoon and missed 1 week of Riven. I've been ferociously ill over the last week and a half. Back at work tomorrow though, which I'm looking forward to. It's kind of that run up to Christmas and that run up to the end of the year where, you know, work gets really busy, and it feels like a bit of a shame to be missing it. Looking forward to heading back to work tomorrow, just not really very well at the moment. It's one of those things when you are kind of living with a chronic health condition, right? That, YouTube is something that I can kind of fit around. I can do a little recording here and there when I'm feeling well. Twitch, a little bit harder, right? Because you need your schedule and your health to always perfectly align with each other, which doesn't always happen, unfortunately. But feeling much better today, and really looking forward to this episode. So last time out, we were spinning our wheels quite a lot, right? But thankfully, I had all of you guys in the chat to keep me company for an hour and a half whilst we were stuck through various discussions with people in the YouTube comment section. We know what to do. Right, so basically I had written off this path as being that's obviously the bad ending, right? Because what it was when we looked at the prison book, it looks a lot like the book that Atris is trapped in, the green book that Atris is trapped in at the end of Myst. So I'm like, well, we don't want to go in there, right? Because obviously we're going to get trapped with Gehn. And I think I probably said something along those lines on the stream. So I'd kind of disregarded that as being a bad ending. But a lot of people were hinting at me that it's like, oh, no. Remember about the bad endings on Myst? And it's like, oh, yeah, no, well, those books, when you go into them, you kick the person that's already in them out of them, and then going back to the diary and so on, it's like, yeah, it is. Atris does explicitly say it's a one-man prison book, so if it is the same age that we went and rescued Atris from, he's probably made some edits to it so that it only now fits one person in there. So it's a clever puzzle. I have to admit, it's a clever puzzle. But and someone commented in the stream a couple of weeks ago that you're probably going to solve it accidentally eventually, because when you're really bored, you start hoovering up bad endings, right? Because it's like, what else are you going to do? But so we're gonna count that on our hint counter, I think, because I don't think I can get credit for solving that one with the number of hints people were having to give me on that. It's a clever puzzle, though. I'll give them credit for it. Okay. Let's go and trap Gehn. Let me know, incidentally, if the game audio is okay on the balance, because I've been having some gain issues with my mic recently, so I've been having to fiddle around with the game audio balance. Gehn's voice and my voice should be around about the same volume.
I'm relieved you've returned. I thought perhaps you had decided against it. Here, I shall follow you directly.
Great, let's go. No bad ending for us this time. Oh. just adjust again down a touch. Take that, sucker! Brilliant, and we're out of the cage as well. Wait, what? Oh no, hang on, huh? We swapped places with Gehn. Is that how that works? I don't know, yeah. It's weird because someone will have to fill me in on the lore, because we've been discussing extensively that when you use a linking book, you go to the location that the linking book was written in the age that you go to. Fine. But if you get kicked out of a prison book, I suppose you are swapping places with the person that went in after you. Cool. Take that, Gehn. Alright, what do we got on the desk here? Trap books are an exception when you're getting kicked out. Cool. Right, diary. What is this? Oh, this will link us back. No, that doesn't have any power. Okay. We've got a bug. The pen. Bone in a cup. Classic. Trying to be subtle and directing back to the journals in your inventory. Atris does outline the mechanics of the book in there. Still a good rule of thumb for later games, though. Check your inventory when all else fails. This is the descriptive book he said he was working on. Oh, I see, I see. No, don't worry about it at all, Artavelli. No, genuinely, I think we'd have been stuck for a long time on that one because I was very consciously trying to avoid bad endings. So I think the takeaway that I need to take away, the rule of thumb that I need to take away is progress is always positive, even if the outcome is not what you want? I don't know. Something like that. Interesting. Okay, so that's a two-way switch. It's boiling something inside that dome. A Marchamak in the chat. Hello, hello. Yes, we have tried the book finally. Absolutely. And Gehn, he's trapped like a punk. Great. So that would allow us to get back to Prison Island or indeed anywhere else. So that's fine. We can go... Oh no. This is locked. Shoot, don't suppose Gehn left us the key, did he? Might be a continuity error, but the trap book made the linking sound of Gehn's books rather than the Denis books. That's a nice little detail for sure. Well, down the ladder. Ooh. To Gehn. Oh shoot, what is that? To Gehn. Something. Love that something more. Mm-hmm. Hang on. That sounds like something that we can use to open up the cell. Let's have a little re-listen. So it's like a ding, ding, ding. I think it's a five-digit code. Very Gehn, of course. All right, cool. Yeah, I think we've got it. So yeah, we should be able to rescue Catherine then. So we might be pretty close to the end of the game then. If we rescue Catherine, trapped Gehn, what else is there? We've got Allocator now following. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. 86929. I start this latest journal with astounding news. Let's just check that is the first page, yeah. Catherine has returned to the 5th Age, and though it sets my teeth on edge to say it, she has also vanished as quickly as she appeared, stolen from me by the rebels. As my guard tells it, she linked into the Fissure Plateau cage, as I'd guessed, when suddenly he was set upon by a band of rebels who darted him and spirited her away. Another journal. It's brilliant. Spider says you like Gehn's aesthetics, and he has good taste in music. Yeah. You think this is a shorter journal? Well, we're gonna find out. It's a little bit off-putting that Gehn writes with capital T's in the middle of words. Maybe that's just an old-fashioned way of writing. I'm not really sure. My cursive is a bit rusty, to be honest. I suspect the truth of the matter was that he was so dumbfounded at actually witnessing someone link in after all this time that he presented an easy target for whichever rebel had happened by at that moment. The damnable luck of it. He did get a good enough look at her, though, to verify that it was indeed Catherine. He also claims that he inspected all of his belongings and found a linking book on her person. All of her belongings and found a linking book on her person, a fact which, if true, makes the question of why she's returned here all the more puzzling. Wait, what? This is describing our arrival to Riven, not Catherine's. Did Catherine take a linking book with her? I suppose she might have done. No, wait, but we didn't warp into Plateau Island. We warped into the main island. Yeah, okay. Whilst maybe I'm reading too much into that. Whilst I am sick with frustration at having lost the only quarry that Cage has ever caught, I am also filled with hope she may yet provide me with a way back to Denis. It is true that I have managed, despite overwhelming odds, to break free of the confines of the 5th Age and resume my mission to save my culture from extinction, but I fear that unless I am able to regain access to the vast resources that lie in the city's ruins, the task of reconstructing that great civilization will be impossible. If Catherine did bring a linking book with her, then I am halfway there. If not, then she is trapped in the 5th Age, and I can assume that my emotionally crippled son will soon be along to rescue her. Either way, it is crucial to my plans that I find her soon. Her presence here now forces me to take the rebels more seriously. I should never have permitted them to survive this long. Once again, the Great Walk has demonstrated its usefulness to me. This past week, the villagers have been most difficult to manage. Apparently, they have learned of Catherine's arrival, and their fear of this mythic beast has been all that has kept them in line. Had I known how truly useful these prodigious creatures would prove to be, I would have perhaps captured more of them while the local population was still plentiful. Although, to be sure, If these disturbances continue, my current pets will be in no danger of perishing for lack of nourishment. The search for Catherine continues. I now deeply regret my mistake of having ever taught these primitive people anything at all about the books. It seems that with each passing day I more sorely realise the extent to which they were not ready for that knowledge, not even in the simplified manner in which I had presented it to them. Their minds, adapted only to the exceptionally menial tasks of village life, were incapable of comprehending the art in all its complexity, and thus were unable to extract the essential underlying principles that are, ironically, so elegantly simple. It is obvious that much of the discord that exists between us stems from their failures to grasp the full meaning of the information I gave them. If they'd been able to gain even the smallest glimpse of the future I'd planned for them, then this conflict would not exist. The minds of children are much more malleable. With the proper instruction, they have developed a more appropriate posture towards the culture that gave them their lives. At times, they take to it almost as if they had a bit of Denis blood in them. Given the natives' inborn limitations, however, I am quite careful that none gain a level of understanding that would permit them to sin against their future the way that Catherine did. How foolish I was to think that she could contain such knowledge responsibly when it was quite clear that my own son could not. Atreus, still he remains one of the greatest disappointments of my life. Oh, this is spicy. This is just getting spicier and spicier. This is like one of those hate journals, you know, where you write down everything that really annoys you and then you burn it, and then it's like, yeah, your burden is lifted. Maybe Gehn felt, maybe Gehn felt a certain catharsis writing all of his really negative thoughts down. I should never have left him with my mother. By the time I'd returned to him, he had already been poisoned to all the thoughts of the Denis. Perhaps it was the only way she could rationalize the fact that she had been responsible for the collapse of their civilization. Ooh. So the Denis civilization collapsed fairly recently then, I suppose. Because in my mind, for some reason in my mind, I sort of pictured Atreus, Gehn and Catherine as Denis archaeologists rather than people who were around during the collapse of their civilization. Have a great day, Phil. Have a good conference call. So much destruction, so many great lives lost. The guilt must have been unbearable. I do have vague recollections of the love she had for my father and for our world, but ultimately she was an outsider whose ignorance of the Denis became the catalyst for their demise. If I am able to rebuild our culture and in the process connect such such crucial weaknesses, then perhaps what she did was ultimately necessary in order that a new era of prosperity might someday come to pass. Survivor says it collapsed in Gehn's youth. Good to know. These last few weeks I have found myself frequently beset by images from the past. As I stood in the schoolroom today, I was reminded of my own childhood, the years I spent in the Bookmakers Guild, Father's immense pride at each of my small accomplishments there. He was an important man in the Denis world, but I can't bear to think of him for too long. It's too much. I was too young to see such a thing. I've got her. Late last night, I received word. So something vague and traumatizing happened to Gehn's father then. Late last night, I received word that Catherine was in the village attempting to persuade the people to join her. I lost 2 good men in the process, but I would have paid 100 times that number for such a prize. She's been taken to the prison island where I've been attempting to gain some insight as to the reason for her presence here. I've had to fight the all but constant impulse to put her on the gallows. She has adopted the most infuriating stance of only answering my questions, when she answers them at all, in her native tongue. Even so, she is a poor liar. I am now quite certain that the return to Riven was unintentional and that she's brought no linking book with her. As far as her unwillingness to share with me the location of the moiety, we shall see. Without their leader, however, they are once again powerless against me. If Catherine coming here was indeed an accident, then Atris is bound to come for her. That is a given. The question I must now consider is, how will he do it? It is likely that his hesitation has been due, at least in part, to this dilemma. One way or another, though, he'll have to bring a linking book to get back to Denis. There is no other way. It's late, and I cannot sleep. I've lost so much in my life. My people, my father, my son. The handwriting has changed here, so this is... he's probably woken up tired, presumably. He's also spilt a lot more ink on this page. I've lost so much in my life. My people, my father, my son, and you, my wife, Keta. Foreshadowing the main antagonist for Myst III Exile, ? You were the only true kindness I have ever known. Watching you flicker there in the imager, I sometimes wonder if you were real. If I could restore your life with my pen, I would do so in an instant and leave the rest of the world to their own wretched fate. Jasper123 finally made it onto the stream. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Artivelli, I like how this entry is written in a more ragged hand. Yeah, totally agree. That's a very, very immersive, very immersive. That capital E was accidentally a Denis letter. Having trouble finding that. You have to point it out to me later. Send me a screenshot in my DMs. Oh, back again. And again. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, this E, even so. Oh, I see, I see. Fair enough. Damn these savages. I would be well advised to leave them all in the 5th age and begin again with a clean sheet of paper. A stranger has arrived on Riven with a linking book to Denis, and once again my useless minion was overtaken by the rebels. From what little I could decipher from his muddled explanation, it apparently occurred sometime this morning. The cage has been damaged, but it is no matter. Everything I need is here now. Adris is certainly behind this, yet how could he be so foolish as to send someone here with a linking book? Such blatancy is unlike him. Could it be that he has had a change of heart? After all these years, is he finally letting his poor old father go? No, he's only after one thing. Perhaps he should find her. For now, I need only to wait and observe. Gehn and Atris. A complicated family relationship. Yeah. Reading Gehn's notes is now scarier than ever with the current events and political polarization. To be honest, I do not know specifically which, well, I mean, to be fair, yeah, you Could mean anything there. But, yeah. I think I would agree with you on at least 3 or 4 different counts. Okay. Oh, it's a little sink. That's nice. And a projector. Oh, this would be his wife, would it?
Gehn Shima? Shorate. Mata nelta. Tagamem. San botegan shem. Fasi.
There we go. So presumably, yeah, this is actually his wife then. Oh dear. Right. So, do we remember the code from earlier? It was like ding ding ding. I think. Let's have a look. Not that one. Nope, nope, nope. Yep, yep. The way he describes the rebels as evil whilst Catherine clearly sees them as saviours, 2 sides to the story and all that. Yes, indeed. I mean, Gehn clearly has a belief in his own motivation, which is we might want to save if we're doing anything here. If we're curious about bad endings, that is a very good shout out. Thank you very much, Swiper. So, Game 1, Episode 11-1. Point of no return? Question mark? We're not going to put a question mark in the name of the file. One of the it's genuinely a pet peeve of mine, and let me know what you think. It's genuinely a pet peeve of mine that question mark is a protected character in the Windows operating system. I kind of know why they've did it, because, you know, it's so that you can, like, use question mark as a wildcard in searches and things, but so many times you want to create a file or a directory that is a question of some kind, and you can't use a question mark. Shahora is hello in Dene, and T is the Dene pluralization suffix, so she starts the vid by saying greetings. That's nice. For those of you who are interested, I've been working on, for ages and ages and ages, a Tunic language translation video. And yeah, and at some point we're going to play Chants of Sonar as well, which is, again, a language translation puzzle game. It's interesting. It's like it's an interesting form of puzzle, linguistic puzzles. It wasn't that one. Yep. Right. Okay. So it's ding, ding, ding. I think we probably have to pull that to reset it anyway. Or maybe it just does your last 5. It just does your most recent 5. Excellent.
We have to move quickly. Gehn's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book? did it. We're all free. You captured Gehn.
Like how she, when she's reading it, she's putting her hand on that page.
But there's
That's
still
like,
his followers. I'm not sure what I'll do once I realize he's gone. I'll have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. You go back to the Temple Island and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky, but it's the only way to signal Atris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as I can, but don't wait for me. Don't forget, the portal combination's in my journal. Good luck.
she explained all that way too quick. So, hang on, wait. The portal combination's in her journal. So yeah, we just need to go back to Temple Island and open up the fissure, right? And she's going to sort out the rest for us. That's what I took away. Oh, man. It's like... or... yeah, okay, cool. It's like, oh man, it's like when it's... I don't think I can say that, actually. Okay. It's sort of there. I think we got it. Did we get it? No, we didn't get it. There we go, got it. Oh, okay. I thought opening the fissure was going to be bad ending. But then again, on the other hand... Oh, no, but if we go and open the fissure before we've rescued Catherine, that's going to be bad news for everyone, aren't they? Well, in fact, if that's the signal, Atris may turn up, mightn't he, on Riven, but Gehn's not captured yet. Oh, that would be a pretty spicy bad ending, wouldn't it? 16, 11, 10, 2, 1. She has the trap book. The devs couldn't decide what would happen if you used it after releasing her. Good point. Oh, so there's another bad ending, which is we use the trap book again after Gehn's in there. That's kind of funny. Okay, so there's a few for us to pick up. Because I think there might be a difference between using signaling Atris before Gehn's trapped and signaling Atris after Gehn's trapped, but before you've released Catherine, potentially. No, that's Jungle Island. It's that one, isn't it? Yes. Oh, really? And there's differences even depending on where you use the prison book. Okay. You get a different one if you release again in the Rebel Age, in the Moiety Home Age. That's kind of hilarious. Brilliant. Bonk. It's weird that a lot of these... Catherine didn't walk back to this island, did she? She walked back to Jungle Island, so why wasn't the lift already here waiting for us? Weird. But okay. Clicking through, clicking through. And why isn't that bridge extended anymore? Someone's been here. Maybe one of Gehn's people, eh? Maybe Gehn's minions have been messing with things. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Okay, here we go. So, we're going to open this up and... Ah, shoot, hang on. I need to bring up the code, which involves opening up my whiteboard. Where's the code? Where's the code? Right. So it's here. It's not that one. Not those. That's a diagram I drew of it. Ah, here we go. 11515. That's where we're going. Okay, you can't go down there. I was going to look through the viewport when we got all the way down. Oh, I thought it was going to go in. It's like it's straining against something, isn't it? So is there a glass porthole there? Okay. I thought the whole point is we're trying to open this hole. This is what stumped you when you were younger. Oh, I see. Well, the fact that it moves in a gradiated way must therefore mean something, I suppose. But physical help books. Old school. I tell you what, I think I've still actually got some of my physical strategy guides lying around for like Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. Still super useful. Oh no, you made it through the whole game and then caved here. Interesting. Taking the safeties off. All right. There we go. Ooh, it's a lot of pressure. Okay, Atris, if you're gonna turn up, now is the time. This is Atris's like a boss moment.
Where's Catherine? Where's the book?
Atris!
I don't.
I tell you what, he's quite handsome actually, isn't he?
The villagers are safely in the rebel age. I thank you.
As do I. You've accomplished
Yeah.
more than I could have hoped for.
Obi-Wan
Given me
Kenobi
back
vibe.
my life. The path home is now clear for all of us. This is where our paths must part.
Why?
Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me. Goodbye, my friend.
Wait, is he? No joke. Like, what an actual what? Did Atris just like properly screw us over? Yeah.
Now I
Good.
understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure. That riven cleft of stars that acts as both a wall and a bridge. And though I am unable to understand how, the very flow of stars that brought my Myst book into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven is closed forever, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
And that, my friends, is Riven. Wow, what a game. What a game. I mean, like, I can see why a lot of people, rate this as best puzzle game ever, right? It's very strong, isn't it? It's very strong. Having two very large scale across the map puzzles, right? The animal puzzles and the fire marbles puzzle. Fire marble puzzle might genuinely be one of the best designed puzzles I've ever come across, right? The fact that it's this kind of multi-tiered puzzle of the what are these, where do they go, and which ones go where, gives you that kind of, it's like a 3-tier puzzle that takes you across the whole map. Such an amazing design, right? Such an amazing design. The world, like this is like next level up from Myst for sure, right? Myst had a very defined hub and spoke model to it, right? Myst Island is your hub model, and basically all of the locks and keys, you all find them in the same place, right? You find them in the rotating tower, and that takes you to the various ages, and the various ages act as small puzzle worlds in their own right. This game expands the scope of what that is hugely. I think I said way back in episode 1 that this is it's a much bigger game than Myst. And it's great to see that its aspirations weren't too large for it, you know? Like, what an execution. This is a great game. This is a great game. Oof. The shortcut unlocking. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be really interested to see how the remake plays, for sure, because I think a lot of the puzzles involving the geometry of certain rooms are going to end up being a lot more trivial in a fully three-dimensional remake. But then again, you never know, right? Because the remake of Myst came out in 2021 and no one can find the letter that you're all supposed to find at the start of the game anymore. So, who knows? Maybe it'll present other challenges in other respects, right? Yeah, on that point, Jasper, again, being a great character, the characters are much more realised in this game, right? Of course. You know, and the game feels a lot more lived in as well. The game feels like much more of a real place. Myst, the various ages of Myst, you would stumble upon like these little flats, you know, these little kind of studio apartments that Cirrus and Achenar were clearly living in, that were like lavishly decorated and so on. And it's supposed to give you a very clear kind of, well, these guys are like living it up, whilst everyone else in whatever age, Stone Ship or Channelwood or whatever, are just kind of like living how they always have, and these guys are living it up large on the top floor. But none of those ages really felt truly lived in, partly because they're all quite small, so the mechanics of actually living in such a place didn't really feel like it kind of worked out. I don't know. Biggest question from me, right? The village in the jungle, those two planks out from those two houses from that dead end, we never explored the rest of the village. That never was a thing. Like that surprises me. That surprises me. So let's catch up on the trap a little bit there. So yeah, so Obi-Wan Kenobi vibes, totally agree. You know, if you want to aspire to looking like anyone, I mean, hey, you know, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's not bad. Easy to misinterpret the ending, I would certainly agree. I kind of feel like Atris has kind of screwed us over a little bit there, but we'll see. He did say that he would send us back to where we came from, though, so that is true. Myst does start out like that, with a falling person, and indeed it's the logo of the Myst subreddit, which I will try and I'll try and post on the r/Myst subreddit now that we have the game completed. I'll try and post this video series up there and see if I can avoid getting downvoted to nothing. One of my all-time favourite games. It's been fun watching you through it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Shortcut unlocking very satisfying. The end suffers from technical limitations to some extent. There's no good reason in universe for Atris to not explain this to us before linking away. Should have given us the linking book as well in case something went wrong. Quite possibly. Listening to Ghehn's clarinet. He does reference it in the opening video, as well as the reasons why we can't take a regular linking book with us, yeah. Tries to convince us he's changed rather than saying Atris was evil or something. It's interesting that in Ghehn's own diary he's talking about, oh, well, maybe Atris has had a change of heart. There might be a little bit more to their familial relationship than meets the eye, perhaps. The village is too obedient to let you come in. Yeah. I played Riven with my father when I was a child. Somehow the game terrified me. Yeah. It's an interesting one, and I've certainly seen this in the YouTube comment section as well. A number of people who have said that their first memories of this game is actually playing it with their parents, which I think is great, you know, and in a way, yeah, we're kind of the first generation of people who will remember kind of playing video games with our parents, right? And I think that's such a special thing to have as a memory, sharing you know, an interactive story like this. Okay, let's do some bad endings. So let's go back to the point of no return first of all. Airhader, have a nice stream. I will see you soon. Thank you very much for coming along. So here's our prison book. Okay, let's collect some bad endings. So if we go back in here with Gehn.
I don't know exactly why you released me, but you realize, of course, that this must be the end for you. I can't take the chance that you will change your mind again. It may provide you with some solace, however, to know that with this act of self-sacrifice, you have secured your place in history. The Dani culture will be reborn. The lives of millions will be purified. Thanks to you. Farewell.
Dum, 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 dum. There we go. I tell you what, right, the Gehn theme absolutely slaps as well. Jasper, I'll watch the rest on YouTube. Have a good one. Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you in the YouTube comment section. Thanks for coming down. Okay, now we have already had the credits, so can we skip the credits? The game is paused. Press any key to continue. It does not look like the game allows you to skip the credits. Ooh, hang on. John Keston as Gehn ends up at the top of the cast and is separated from the rest of the cast. Does that only happen in the bad endings? Or is that because he was the most kind of famous actor in this? So, like, acting guild rules and stuff. I tell you what, if you go down the rabbit hole, and there was no reason for me to go down this particular rabbit hole, but I did go down it at some point, the rules around how people's credits appear at the end of movies and TV shows, and how their names appear and the order their names appear in the pre-roll for shows, the rules are incredibly strict and laid out, right? Because I always got confused when it was watching Sister Sister when I first noticed it, right, as a child. Sister Sister was a show, I believe, on Nickelodeon about two twin sisters who get separated when they're born and adopted by different families, but then they meet when they're older. And it always confused me that the opening credit crawl had a name, a name, a name, a name, and then the final name was name as Ray, right? And I was always like, everyone else just has their name, and of course, because it's video, a name and a picture of themselves, right? Or a name and like some B-roll footage of themselves. But then like this last guy has name as his character's name. And apparently it's all to do with union rules, and there are really strict rules about like the order in which people need to appear, and yeah, weird. Okay, so let's go back to that point of no return, and we will reload that, and we're going to go back to... We're going to check out going to the Moiety Age and releasing Gehn. And that might not matter whether we've released Catherine by that point or not. Or maybe we should release Catherine first. No. Let's just go to the Moiety Age and release Gehn. Catherine takes the book with her, so that's not possible. Yep. Good thinking. Jungle Age. Let's go. So next week we will be starting Myst III Exile. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really interested to see how Riven gets expanded upon. Now, I'm under no illusions that you know, when people talk about Riven and Myst, everyone talks about Riven and Myst. Oh, we're in an ad break. Sorry, I totally missed that we were about to go to ads. So... Okay, we'll make our way towards the animal puzzle because we're navigating our way to a location at the moment. People on an ad break are not going to miss anything, obviously. I mean, well, we've completed the game by now. But yeah, obviously everyone talks about Riven and Myst and Riven, right? No one talks about Myst III being the greatest puzzle game of all time, right? So... you know, we're not going to go into Myst III with... We're going to go into Myst III with tempered expectations, yeah? And that will probably be the most likely way to make sure that we have a favourable experience with it, right? Because the worst thing you can do to a game is directly compare it to some masterpiece of a game, right? Years ago, good couple of years ago, when we were streaming Fez, Myst because it's first made history, of Riven because it's genuinely the best. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. A long time ago, back in 2021, when I first started streaming, we streamed Fez, and I was quite uncharitable towards Fez. Largely because we played it straight after playing The Witness. And it's kind of like, well, if you've just played The Witness, then many games are going to feel not super brilliant after you've just played The Witness, right? So, yeah, so my new rule is, in general, after we've played a really, really great game, we need to have a palate cleanser game, you know? We've got to have a game which is okay, but nothing special, right? A pretty... well, saying that makes it sound really harsh, but I'm thinking like, you know, a mobile game that has been transferred over to Steam or something, like something which is still good but like a bit more ephemeral, right? Okay, welcome back to everyone who has joined us back from ad break. We've just made our way over to the animal puzzle. You've not missed anything significant, to be honest. Just me trying to look up which animals was what again. So what was it? It was fish, fly, frog, sunna, walk. Okay. So fish was this one. Exile isn't exactly known for topping Riven, more like an alternate evolution of the series, more based on Myst's approach. Really? Interesting. Jasper's back. Your wife took the boy out to the petting zoo. Free Sunday. Woo! Chilled out Sunday. Lovely. Okay. The Fly. Was it that guy? I think it was that guy. The Frog was that one. Sunna is... Ah, there he is. And then Walk is the one directly in front. Exile's also the first game that didn't have music by Robin Miller. Jack Wall did it instead. His music was great, but it was definitely different. Oh, interesting. I didn't realise that Robin Miller did all the music. Because I'll tell you what, like... the Riven music is pretty great, to be honest. Like, the Myst music, I think, is okay. Like, there's one or two iconic themes, right? Certainly the Cirrus and Achenar themes, whenever you go into one of their little studio flats, is a really nice theme. Okay, so we are back in the Moiety Age. Now, I don't actually know what happens if you come back here anyway, right? Oh, there's just a linking book which takes you back to the animal puzzle. Right, got it, okay. Well, hang on, wait a minute then. If there's a linking book which just takes you straight back to the animal puzzle, releasing Gehn here ain't going to be... I was thinking it'd be like, yeah, you release Gehn into the Moiety Age, and now he's trapped in the Moiety Age with a bunch of people who don't like him. Let's see what happens, though.
It appears that the moiety and I will finally be able to discuss our differences face to face. I don't know exactly why you released me, but you realize, of course, that this must be the end for you. I can't take the chance that you will change your mind again. It may provide you with some solace, however, to know that with this act of self-sacrifice, you have secured your place in history. The Dunny culture will be reborn, and the lives of millions will be purified. Thanks to you. Farewell.
So, actually, very similar ending to the last one we did. In fact, yeah, very similar lines. But aside from, you know, the beginning where he makes reference to the moiety directly. Exile is also the first game that didn't... Oh, sorry, no, I've already read that. Less Myst-like, more theatrical. Which was the first Myst game, or which was the first... So, I'm not really that familiar with the history of Cyan Worlds, right? Because I presume Abduction and Firmament did not really have anything to do with Rand Miller. And Abduction was the first game they made since, like, Uru or Myst III, right? So, did Cyan Worlds, like, go out of business and then came back later under someone else? Or, I don't know. I need to look that up. But which was the first game that Rand Miller... Oh, Rand is the CEO of Cyan Games still. Oh, okay. Oh. Fair enough. Cool. I just kind of got this strange vibe because I've seen Cyan Worlds on TikTok, and whenever I see them interviewing Rand on TikTok, the vibe is kind of like they've invited Rand in and they're discussing like what Cyan Worlds is doing with him, rather than him coming across like he's their boss, if that makes sense. Which probably actually is more a statement about like how cool and easygoing Rand just comes across as a person, you know? So yeah, fair enough. I didn't realise he still ran the company. Exile was made in an age where games had just gained the ability to be bombastic and orchestral with their music, and all the composers were going wild. Fair enough. Exile was the first of 2 games that were produced by an outside company. Oh, so Myst III and Myst IV are not Cyan Worlds. That's weird. Why did they outsource them to a different company? We're going to go back to the point of no return, and we're going to signal Atris before rescuing Catherine and see what happens. They were still involved. Rand is still in them as Atris. Oh, that's good. That's good. It wouldn't be the same without Rand as Atris. Do you know what? I'm really tempted to actually go back and play. So the 2 versions of Myst that I have, right? I have, as well as the 2021 remake, I've got Myst Masterpiece Edition, and I have Real Myst Masterpiece Edition, right? Because I bought them all as like a Steam bundle. I'm really tempted to go back and play one of the OG original Mysts. I'll probably do it straight for YouTube rather than stream it. But if I were to play either Myst Masterpiece Edition or Real Myst Masterpiece Edition, which would you recommend? I'm assuming Myst Masterpiece Edition is like the original Myst, and Real Myst Masterpiece Edition is like a remake. You'd recommend Real Myst, okay. Do they both have the extra age at the end after you've beaten the whole game? Or is that only on Real Myst? Because that wasn't in the 2021 version, so we don't have that one. I've never played that. Oh, Myst Masterpiece Edition was also a remaster. Right, a remaster but not a remake. So what, new textures and stuff, but like... Okay. So Myst 5 doesn't really follow Myst's story, so it's more like Uru to masquerading as a Myst sequel. Yeah, so Uru is after Myst 4 to Myst 2 Furious, right? Oh. We didn't come this way. Ah, shoot. Do we have a button on this side? I don't think we do. There. So we're going to have to go around this way then. Okay. Not a huge detour. Wasn't Uru the first non-picture one, but more of an interactive pixelated world? Masterpiece was also a remaster. I think only Real Myst has the Age of Rhyme. Right. Just quickly check my code. The code is 11515. Now, where was it that I went to fiddle with this thing? It's down here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, it was on the left, not the right. Here we go. So only real Myst has the Age of Rhyme. Well, that's definitely the one we have to go and do then. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the original differs. Hi, Atris. We've trapped Gehn. Good news.
Where's Catherine? I don't understand. You've captured Gehn, but why did you signal me? There's no time left. The age is collapsing. I've got to get back before it's too late. Your way is clear. You're free to go home. Farewell, my friend.
Remember the character you keep interacting with. Oh, okay, I don't think that comment's directed at me. I think that's Spiper and Artavelli talking to each other. Yeah, avoiding spoilers for Uru as best as possible, I suppose.
So much work.
Ooh.
Gehn isn't last defeated, but the price of this defeat is dear. The people of Riven must try to hang on to a world which is dying. And I am sentenced to the futile task of nursing Riven's fatal wounds. Of Catherine, I will never know her fate.
Oh, so Atris is basically forced to just be furiously writing forever now to try and keep Myst from, to try and keep Riven from collapsing as long as possible. You only just recently found out that Abduction exists, immediately played it. Abduction was great. Abduction was great. The biggest criticism I've seen about Abduction is that there's a lot of backtracking in it, but it's like, come on, that's like the nature of this kind of game, right? Like, backtracking's most of the point. There's one particular puzzle which does involve a lot of just zapping back and forth, and because of where the loading screens are located, you have to pass through a loading screen many times during the execution of the puzzle. So there's definitely like one puzzle which clearly the loading screen's in the wrong place because it involves you going back and forth through that loading screen like 12 times. So there's a big jump between working out how to solve the puzzle and physically just executing the puzzle. It takes a long while. But aside from that, Abduction was great. Really liked it. Atris will slowly lose his sanity, ultimately turning into his father. Yeah. The game kept crashing. Oh no. Oh, that's a bit rough. Sorry to hear that. I've heard that Firmament has some mixed reviews on it, but I am kind of interested to play Firmament for sure. Once, like, I'm still having some weirdnesses with playing 3D games at the moment, like really 3D games, which is why on the YouTube and on the streams at the moment we're we're focusing exclusively on 2D games. I'm having some weird kind of motion sickness. But once I'm over that, I'm really keen to play Firmament at some point. But for some reason, yeah, mixed reviews. I've heard tale of things like, oh yeah, some pretty disruptive soft locks and things that you can get yourself into, which is not great in a game like this. You don't want to have to safety save because of soft locks. Okay, so I think we want to check out what happens next if you signal Atris before you've even trapped Gehn. I think that's the next one to try. One where you open it before trapping Gehn, and one where you use save scumming to open it immediately after the game starts. Amazing. Do you happen to have any saves from before you meet Gehn? Yeah, I think we do. So let's go back to the episode 10 one. So this is before we trapped Gehn. So we'll load that one up. And again, we will signal Atris from before we trapped Gehn. I kind of like the idea of just signaling Atris immediately after warping to Riven. That's kind of funny. Maybe we'll do that one as like a YouTube short or something. Riven, any percent playthrough, speedrun. See, I'll check out what the world record is on that. Can't go that way. We're going round. We're going round. What an amazing game, though. I've had such good fun playing this. But also, props to the game for telegraphing the fact that once it gives you this code, also telegraphing the fact that if you open this, it will be a problem for everyone, right? So, like, I do feel like the game did very well at not tricking you into a bad ending. So, thumbs up for that one. Oh, Atris didn't turn up. What? Why didn't Atris get the signal? That's weird. I don't get it. Yeah, why didn't Atris receive that signal? I mean, I do have a save from before talking to Gehn. Yeah, and we'll certainly try that one out. We have met Gehn, but Gehn isn't trapped. Interesting. There should be a different ending there. Wow. Maybe we found a 25-year-old bug. Yes, we've definitely met Gehn in that save. We started out in his flat. Oh, well actually, did we save the episode? Yeah, no. Yes, we've definitely met Gehn. Because if we that was the one we loaded at the start of today, and you pressed the button, and Gehn came in, and he said, "Oh, I hope you've changed your mind," and such like, and he holds the book up. I mean, we can try and reload that one again, call Gehn into the room, and refuse to use the book. The ending we've just seen is the speedrunner one. So is that's the one where you that's the one where you do the... So the ending we've just seen, that's the one where you go to Riven at the beginning and then immediately hit the code. That's the speedrun one. Yeah, opening the hatch before actually learning the code. Weird. So, okay. So yeah, so episode 9.1 was us at the start of Alcatraz Island. The hatch. So this is the start of Alcatraz Island. So we have definitely met Gehn at this point. And then 10.1 was the safety save we made before calling Gehn in for a second time in episode 10. So, yeah, I mean, we could try that same ending again, but from a different save file. So we must have met Gehn, right? Because we're on Alcatraz Island here. So do you know what? Lost was one of those shows where using my Atreides limited prescience, I was able to totally predict that the final season of the show was going to totally suck. I never watched Lost. I never watched Lost because this was a period in television where a lot of shows were just like getting canned on cliffhangers, and I was like, I am not I mean, I was at university at the time, so I wasn't really watching TV anyway. I was watching a lot of DVDs and things like that, and I was just like, I am not starting Lost until it actually finishes and actually concludes. And then season 7 came out and everyone hated it and said that the ending sucked. And then I was like, well, guess I don't need to watch that now. So I've never seen it. Is it any good? Because I've heard it kind of sucks, like, given the ending. Like, it was such a cultural touch point, though. Very much like Game of Thrones. Everyone was watching Lost. Everyone talked about Lost. And then as soon as the final season came out, no one ever talked about it again, because the final season sort of ruined it, apparently. It has intrigue for at least a few seasons. Lost is great, but it's true that the ending made it a bit redundant. Fair. Sadly, a lot of shows were cancelled because of Lost. Yeah. Game of Thrones is a show which it's pretty rare for a show to be totally dominant in the social zeitgeist and then immediately, like within a year, totally fall out of the public consciousness, right? Like, that final season, yeah, less said about it the better, really. First 5 seasons, though, great television. And there's a lot of people that recommend that, like, if you're going to start Game of Thrones today, just finish it at season 5 and just have season 5, because season 5 kind of concludes it, like, not in a sort of satisfying way, like the War of the Five Kings is still on and whatever, but most of the characters have some kind of conclusion at the end of season 5, and you could decide what happens in your own headcanon yourself. A little bit like Westworld Season 1, right? Westworld works amazingly as a one-season show that you don't watch any of the follow-up seasons to, because your imagination can fill in the gaps as to what must have happened afterwards. No Atris. Ah, shoot. I'm gonna have to... We might have to actually go and, like, look up this other ending, then. Because for whatever reason, I ain't getting it. Which is a shame, because I want to see Atris and Gehn face off. Right? Game of Thrones is the one you actually haven't seen. Game of Thrones managed to trick an entire generation of TV watchers to enjoy fantasy for the first time. And it did it by basically making the first season have 0 fantastical elements in it. Like, there's no magic, no dragons, whatever in season 1, except like right at the very end. And that managed to convince a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise have watched a fantasy show to watch it, because it's more like just a medieval show, right? Medieval politics and whatever. And then even in season 2, like, it starts introducing magic, but the magic is more like, is it magic or is it like trickery? You know, because it introduces like the Tower of Warlocks and stuff, and it's like, are they actually magical, or is it all a ruse? And it's kind of, and it's left totally ambiguous, actually. It's left up to the audience to make that measure themselves. But it's only much, much later in the show that you actually start getting real magic turning up in there, which is very clever. Very clever. Definitely a bug, says Artavelli. Just restart the entire game until the end. Before leaving, try the other 2 book endings from before you meet Gehn. Interesting that we get Gehn's theme for this ending. Okay, so what are the other two book endings, very quickly? So I presume using the prison book ourselves before we meet Gehn is going to be an ending. And what is the other book ending that you're referring to? The speedruns ending. Use the prison book on Riven and use the prison book on Tay. Okay. Coolios. Yeah, let's try and rattle through those quick. Meanwhile, as we are pretty close to the end of the stream, does anyone have any recommendations for where they would like the raid to go today? Usually we raid Cozy, of course. She was doing Die-November. I don't know if she's doing... I don't know what she has lined up for December. But if there is a streamer who is live right now that you guys are interested in going and raiding, we can certainly take some recommendations for a raid. The animal room counts as rebel territory. Okay, that's good to know. So, Green Book in Riven before meeting Gehn, Green Book in Riven after meeting Gehn, Green Book in the Rebel Age. Okay, so if we open up a save game, let's have a look. That's 9, that's 8. So we are in the Rebel Age there, and we won't have met Gehn by this point because we were in the middle of reading Catherine's diary in this episode, if you recall. So let's have a look at what happens if we imprison ourselves.
Hello, mate. Una salsa. Ya no quiero ni como un poco besito.
Freitag, Owen.
Stop touching it! Stop touching the book! Very good. Oh, to use it after meeting Gehn, you need to meet Gehn before visiting the Rebel Age. We didn't do that, so that would involve going back and solving the fire marble puzzle from a much older save. So I think what we'll do is we will use the Green Book in Riven. Use the Green Book in Riven after meeting Gehn. What if you use the Green Book in Riven before meeting Gehn? Oh no, wait. Use the Green Book in Riven after meeting Gehn. No, you can't. No, you can only do that if you... Yeah. So we can't do that one. But we can use the Green Book in Riven before meeting Gehn. Yeah. But yeah, to use the Green Book in Riven after meeting Gehn, unfortunately, that would involve a little bit more time than we have. I think we've got time to do the Green Book in Riven before meeting Gehn, but I think we're going to need to wrap the stream up there. It looks like we are on Cozy's stream today, making about to see. How is Obsidian going? So, you know, because I've been ill, I've not been recording, actually, which is why on the YouTube, everything's kind of, the schedule's all gone a little bit weird. So we've had like a week of The Swapper, because I happen to have several episodes of The Swapper already recorded. And then yesterday and today was Ender Lilies. Tomorrow and Tuesday are actually going to be pinball, simply because pinball is pretty vibey. I was playing quite a bit of pinball whilst I was ill, and it's no cam, no mic. It's literally just vibes. It's literally just me playing pinball. Wednesday is going to be Riven. This episode right now is going to come out on Wednesday, and then the next episode of Obsidian is going to be Thursday, but I've not recorded it yet. So that's the plan. I'm going to record an episode of Obsidian at some point this week and get it up on Thursday. So what you see in Obsidian right now on episode 2 is literally where I'm up to in that game. Right, so let's load up this save. No, I mean the pressure is my own pressure, to be honest, because it's actually been 6 months. November 30th, I think, was 6 months of uploading a video every day onto the YouTube. And I want to keep that streak going, you know, just because that was a sort of challenge that I'd set myself, and, you know, getting a video up every day onto the YouTube was something that I wanted to do. So it's a little bit of a weird one doing it with, like, you know, a couple of vibe recordings of me just playing pinball. But on the other hand, if any of you are pinball fans, let me know if there are any pinball tables that you would recommend, because I do enjoy playing pinball. I went down to an arcade and paid a physical pinball machine, and now I'm a little bit hooked, to be honest. Okay, right, let's use the book in Riven. Aha. Oh. So we've not met Gehn yet. Oh damn. No chat. Just ending.
Forgive me. I don't believe we've met. I am Gehn. And you must be the one whom Atris sent to trap me. I don't know where you got the brilliant idea to trap yourself in the book, but I must tell you that I am quite disappointed that it is you and not Atris who must now pay the price for this foolishness. My one wish before I die would be to see him finally assume some responsibility for his actions. Perhaps it will happen one day. In the meantime, you have my services.
Amazing. Shoot first, monologue later. Boom. Pinball, best wizard specialization, hands down. Yeah, I always find that really strange that, like, yeah, there's this term in pinball about, being a pinball wizard. And it's a very strange terminology that they use, wizard, and like wizard modes in pinball. It's just like the weird crossover between the pinball world and the high fantasy world in terminology. First time chatter, Kojiro. I ticked off Gehn. I certainly did. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat Okay, we are going to wrap up the stream right there. It is 10:54, so we're a little bit over time, unfortunately, already. We are going to check out Cozy's stream, but if any of you do have recommendations for future weeks of streamers you would like the raid to go to, do recommend them. First of all, though, I've got to say goodbye to those of you who are watching on YouTube in the future. If you enjoyed this series, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to start Myst III next Sunday. So I hope you enjoyed Riven. I certainly did, and I hope you'll enjoy Myst III and stick with us for Myst III as well. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, YouTube. For those of us who are on Twitch still, let's go